This video will be talking about how do we generate SSH key and pair it with the GitHub. But before we do so, let us first have some basic understanding of what SSH is and why should we use SSH key. So what is SSH? SSH stands for Secure Shell. It's a cryptographic network protocol. What it means is basically rules of transferring encrypted data over the network. Next, why should we use SSH key? Well, before we learn why should we use SSH key, we will first need to know what are the ways to identify yourself if you want to access to a server. So basically, there are two methods for you to choose from to identify yourself when you want to access to a server. First is using your username and the password. Second is using the SSH key. Why we use SSH key is because SSH key is an alternate way to identify yourself that does not require you to enter your username and password every single time. Another reason why we use SSH key is because it is a more secure way than using password, as it uses asymmetrical encryption, which you can just treat it as a more secure way of encryption. So basically how it works is that it will create two keys that are in pairs. One is the public key that is used to encrypt data. Another is the private key that is used to decrypt data. Anything is being encrypted via the private key can only be decrypted by the private key. Do take note that the private key is the key that you can share to everyone, while the private key is the key that is stored in your computer and should not be shared to anyone. Before you generate a SSH key, you can check to see if you have any existing SSH key. So you will need to open the terminal, enter this to see if existing SSH keys are present. So now we will be checking the directory listing to see if we have a private SSH key. If yes, you will be seeing this. Now, if you want to upload the existing private key that you have, you can just upload it. However, if you don't have a supported private and private key pair, or don't want to use any of that are available, you can choose to generate a new SSH key. To generate SSH key, you will need to paste this text. Replace the email with your own email address. Press enter. This accepts the default file location. As I previously have SSH key already, so now I need to override it in order for me to do the demo. You will then be asked to provide an optional passphrase. This can be used to make your key even more secure, but I will just skip it. When the key generation is completed, you should see this. The rendered up image, which is this one, is an alternate way to match keys, but we won't be needing it for this case. After we have generated the SSH key, we will now add it inside the GitHub. One way is to type this to copy your private key. Another way is that if it didn't work, then you can try this instead. Type this in, so it should show something like this. Then you will just need to copy this. Now, what you need to do is to log into your existing account and click Setting. In the Access section of the sidebar, click SSH and GPG keys. Click New SSH Key or Add SSH Key. In the title field, you can just use any name that you want to use for the new key. I will just put DFS demo over here. Paste your key in the key field. Click Add SSH Key. If there's a need to confirm your password, just confirm your GitHub password. Now, what we will need to do is test your SSH connection. So you will need to open the terminal, enter the following. This shows that you have successfully authenticated. But there are also other scenarios which I will be showing on the screen and how you should do in that scenario. So another scenario is that after you have typed in the command I have shown you previously, you see this coming out. What you will need to do is that you will need to verify the fingerprint in the message you see matches with GitHub's private key fingerprint. So if it does, type yes, or if inside the bracket shows Y, then type Y. After that, you should see this, which means that you have successfully authenticated. And that's all for this video. Thank you.